Okay.
Okay, he said to start.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to this session, and we have 4 poets here from 4 South Indian languages. Sumathy, as you know, her pen name is Tamizhachi Thangapandiyan, and she writes in Tamil. And Arathi, and we have Karthik, who writes in Telugu, and Arathi from Kannada. And myself, I'm Syam, Sudhakar. I write in Malayalam. And maybe we will start with Tamizhachi Thangapandiyan, and I would love to hear her reading her poems. And before we start asking her poem about to read her poems, I would love to hear from her about her region, her geography, because she comes from nearby Madurai, I think, where the great poet Andal was there once. And so I just wanted to hear, because when I have translated from Andal from Tamil to Malayalam, so I'm sort of familiar with that geography from Andal during, that century. So I would really love to hear the idea of geography in her poems, and then maybe we can move to, can you read some of your poems here?
Yeah. Thank you very much for a lovely introduction, and a very good afternoon to all of you all who have gathered here for this wonderful poetry festival. Well, when the name Madurai sounds a bell in all your minds, because Madurai is the place for 3 Sangams. And I'm proud to introduce myself as a Tamil poet, because we have a written scripture dating back to 2,500 years ago. And the first era of Sangam literature had more than 40 women poets who have expressed themselves very strongly in the areas of feminism, as well as to have spoken very vociferously and openly about their carnal desires on par with kings. And we have had Mudal Sangam, first Tamil Sangam, second Tamil Sangam, and the third one in Madurai. But I don't descend actually from Madurai. I come from a place which is in between Virudunagar and Andal's birthplace, Srivilliputturu, which is not a very fertile area. It is called as Karisal land, black, dry soil, wherein we are at the mercy of the rainfall. Not a very fertile land. Cotton is a major crop, and agriculture is the major occupation of our people. And I come from an agrarian community, and most of my poems and short stories deal with women of my Karisal land. In spite of all the difficulties, most of them are working women, work in the fields, and many of them have been trailblazers in writing poems, as well as, apart from Andal, we have Ira Meenakshi, and most of the veteran Tamil writers hail from my land, K. Rajanarayanan, to name a few, S. Ramakrishnan, most of them. And I'm proud to be introduced probably at that corner, like following their tail. So my main focus, or probably my writing, are deep-rooted in my soil. In fact, when we've had a session about the Kashmiri, mystic Lal, I was reminded of our own Karakalamayar. Karakalamayar of 5th century AD, who actually took a demonic form from a woman, who took a demonic form to attain Shiva, the blessings of Shiva, and in fact, she walked upside down towards Kailasha. That's how the story goes. So we have a very rich literary tradition in South, and I am proud to be introduced as a Karisal poetess who expresses the anguish, the plight of the womanhood at my place, but at the same time, they are not women who always complain, who always are complacent in being given a position when compared to women. No, that's not the case with my women. We are very strong. We fight with life. So many women, sisters of mine, I've known them as single parents. And my poetry deals mostly with the indigenous goddesses. Pechi, Pidari, Rakachi, 7 the goddesses, which we call as Shabda Kannimar, or 7 small family deities. So through my poems and short stories, I'd like to always give a leaf or probably a vision, a visual life of my sisters who are there toiling in the land, but at the same time facing life with all its ups and downs, with nothing much to complain. At the same time, enjoying the life both intellectually and sensuously. So my poems mostly deal in this arena. At the same time, also in the tradition of Andal, as has been, I'd like to congratulate my my dear brethren for having translated Andal into Malayalam. Andal is considered, we worship her as one of the Alvars. Tirupavai is a sacred text for all of us. And she, remember, 10th century, she is a poetess belonging to that, previous to that 10th century Bhakti literature, and how openly she has written about the sensuousness of women. That is what we admire her. Long ago, such a feminist strong voice from down south, also along with the devotion to Lord Krishna, coupled with that, we've got wonderful poetry which are etched in the pages of Bhakti literature, and I'm very proud that I hail from a small village next to the birthplace of Andal. Now coming to my poems, that was a rough introduction of which area or which arena I'm just writing. I'm here to read 3 or 4 poems, but the first poem is a very contemporary one. I personally feel that any creative person, be it an artist or a musician or a writer or a poet, anybody who works in the area of arts should have a social consciousness, and he should be a witness, not merely a witness, but should make a record of whatever is happening in this contemporary world, especially at what time, during the time of his period. It should be recorded in whatever works in which he is interested in, and that is the most important commitment of any creative artist who has a commitment with society. You can't just alienate yourself with what's happening, away from what's happening. You can't just witness a football game, just sitting in the gallery. You had to enter right into the arena and play the game. So this first poem of mine is about the recent violence in Manipur. The title is Poonagam. இந்த நாட்டின் எந்த புனித நதியால் எம் வன்புணர்வின் நினக்கரையினை கழுவ முடியும்? எம் துகிலிருப்பை இந்த நாட்டின் எந்த தெய்வங்கள் செவிமடுத்தன? எம் அழுகுரல்களின் அவலத்தை இந்த நாட்டின் எந்த மன்றங்கள் எதிரொலித்தன? எம் கொடூர கனவுகளிலிருந்து விடுபட, எம் அநீதிகளுக்கு செவிசாய்க்க இந்த நாட்டின் எந்த கதவுகளிடம் முறையிட? எம்மை குதறிய கரங்களில், சீரழித்த கால்களில் எவற்றை சுட்டி இந்த நாட்டின் எந்த மனசாட்சியிடம் ஓலமிட? இந்திய வரைபடத்திற்குள்ளேதானே எம் மண்ணும் இனமும் இன்னமும் இருக்கின்றோம் என்பதை இந்த நாட்டின் எந்த சட்டத்திடம் ஒப்புவிக்க? உயிர் அறுத்து ஊன் சிதைத்தோரால் ஒருபோதும் ஆறாத எம் காயங்களை இந்த நாட்டின் எந்த புனித புத்தகங்களினால் ஆற்றுப்படுத்த? வெற்று புலம்பலென புறந்தள்ளுவோரே, வெற்று புறம்பலென புறந்தள்ளுவோரே, அதிகார நாற்காலிகளின் தங்கப்பூச்சினை உளுத்து போகச் செய்யும் வலிமை எம் உதரக்கரைக்கு உண்டு. எம் உதிரக்கரைக்கு உண்டு. பட்ட காயங்களை வடுவாக்க விடாமல் வெஞ்சினம் கொள்வோம். ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம் நீலிகளாய் எம் நாட்டின் பூக்களில் மலர்ந்திருப்போம். ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம் நீலிகளாய் எம் நாட்டின் பூக்களில் மலர்ந்திருப்போம். ஒரு பொழுது வரும்பொழுது பூனாக காலம் எமை சிதைத்தோரை மட்டுமல்ல மௌன சாட்சியாய் பார்த்தோரையும் பழிதீர்க்கும். எமை சிதைத்தோரை மட்டுமல்ல மௌன சாட்சியாய் பார்த்தோரையும் பழிதீர்க்கும். அவர் கையளவும் வானமளவும் சுருக்கி விதிக்கப்படும் அந்நிலவோ அம்மாவாசை அன்று கூட தன்னை பற்றிய கவிதை ஒன்று எழுதப்படலாம் எனும் அச்சத்தில், அம்மாவாசை அன்று கூட தன்னை பற்றிய ஒரு கவிதை எழுதப்படலாம் எனும் அச்சத்தில். Thank you. The fourth poem is Manachayal. Manachayal is again, see, probably the resemblance, your mind connotates to someone else or something else. அப்பாவை போல் கைமடித்து சட்டை அணிந்தவரை பார்த்தேன். This poem just picks up whoever passes by, whether he has any resemblance of my father. That's why the title. அப்பாவை போல கைமடித்து சட்டை அணிந்தவரை பார்த்தேன். சற்று கூர்ந்து கவனித்ததில் இரண்டு கைமடிப்பும் சமமாயில்லை. அப்பாவின் சத்தமான சிரிப்பை போல் சமீபத்தில் கேட்டேன். அவரது தொடர் ஓசை அதில் ஒரு மாற்று குறைந்திருந்தது. அவரது தொடர் ஓசை அதில் ஒரு மாற்று குறைந்திருந்தது. அழைப்பு மணி ஒரு முறை அவர் அழைப்பதைப் போலவே ஒலித்தது. அவர் அழைப்பதைப் போலவே ஒலித்தது. திறந்து பார்த்தால் வயிறு குலுக்கி வேடிக்கை காட்டும் அவர் இல்லை. அவரைப் போலவே கீரையை ரசித்து உண்டார் ஒருவர். அவரைப் போலவே கீரையை ரசித்து உண்டார் ஒருவர். உள்ளங்கையில் எச்சில் படாத அப்பாவின் நாசுக்கு அவரது முழங்கை வலிசலில் தொலைந்து போயிருந்தது. அவரது முழங்கை வலிசலில் தொலைந்து போயிருந்தது. அவர் காது மடல்களை நீவுவதை ஒத்த ஒரு கரம் ரயிலின் ஜன்னரோளம் தென்பட்டது. அவரது காது மடல்களை நீவுவதை ஒத்த ஒரு கரம் ரயிலின் ஜன்னலோரம் தென்பட்டது. எட்டி பார்த்ததில் தெரிந்த நகக்கண்களின் அழுக்கு அப்பாவிற்கு சம்பந்தமில்லாதது. எட்டி பார்த்ததில் தெரிந்த நகக்கண்களின் அழுக்கு அப்பாவிற்கு சம்பந்தமில்லாதது. அவர் அணிகின்ற வெண்ணிற காலணிகளை ஒரு நாள் மருத்துவமனையில் கண்டேன். அதற்கு சொந்தமான பாதங்களை பார்க்க திராணி இன்றி வேறு பக்கம் திரும்பிக் கொண்டேன். அதற்கு சொந்தமான பாதங்களை பார்க்க திராணி இன்றி வேறு பக்கம் திரும்பிக் கொண்டேன். என் அப்பா உலகில் நிராகரிக்கப்படும் ஒவ்வொருவரும் இன்னொரு அப்பாதான் எனும் புரிதலை, என் அப்பா உலகில் நிராகரிக்கப்படும் ஒவ்வொருவரும் இன்னொரு அப்பாதான் எனும் புரிதலை நேற்றைய இரவில் அப்பாதான் எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் அதட்டி சொன்னார். நேற்றைய இரவில் அப்பாதான் எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் அதட்டி சொன்னார். அவரது அந்த மென்குரல் வேறு எந்த அப்பாவிற்கும் இல்லை என நினைத்தபடியே தூங்கி போனேன். அவரது அந்த மென்குரல் வேறு எந்த அப்பாவிற்கும் இல்லை என நினைத்தபடியே தூங்கி போனேன். தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச். நன்றி.
Give me the mic.
Thank you, Tamilchi.
Thank you.
Our next poet is Ramesh Karthik Nayak. And I think he's so happy now because his book has come out recently, his English collection through Red River. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the first poem which I read, which is yours, was in Malayalam. And I read the translation of that poem, and it's published in Maroon books. So, do you write initially in English and then translate? Because I think you translate your own poems into English and then Telugu. So, can you talk a little about in which language do you write first, and what is the process of translation that I mean, is it that first you translate and then you write later? First you write and then translate to English, and then again do you make changes in the mother tongue when you rewrite that poem in English? What is the process of that? And then you can have your reading here.
Good afternoon to one and all. Actually, primarily, I'm a Telugu poet and also managing to write in English, though I'm not much thorough with the language. First, I write in Telugu, and if I feel this poem is good or else this poem should get translated, then I try to translate it and ask friends to edit it. And most of the people, when they have heard the news that my poetry collection, Chakmak, was coming out, they thought, who translated it? Okay, the person who don't know the language, like Telugu and English both are not my languages, because I am a Banjara, I am a tribal, I am from a indigenous community which was denotified later on 1952, and they were criminalized in the 1871. So when it comes to my poetry, I write in Telugu, and sometimes even I write in English directly, so I don't translate them. For this session, I have wrote poems in Telugu, and then when Subodh asked me to translate them, that they are presenting it on the screen, so I translated them, and I felt a little difficulty in translating, because sometimes as a poet I feel the translating or else writing directly the theme that you take will be into the same language, or else I feel like writing directly into the language. So this is the poetry collection in which I have translated 3 poems, those related to Banjara community, and remaining poems are directly written in English. Sometimes even I translate from English to Telugu, and also I have translated and do translations, even though it is important to do translation, though we know language it or doesn't matter, but there are few people like editors or friends who can edit them, and that's fine, because we are lagging with the translations. And fine, this is my poetry collection, recently came out by Red River Press, and now I'm presenting my poetry. And that was the poem, actually I was translated, first wrote in English and then translated into Telugu, that you have read the poem. It was translated by Manoj, I think.
Manoj
Yeah.
Katambali did that.
In the same magazine, I have even seen your poem, but I don't know the language. I hope I will get a translation of it. Thank you, I'm reading the poem. I hope there's no presentation. Yeah, fine. There isn't presentation backside. The title of the poem is Illu. గోడల నుండి ప్రతిరోజు పొరలు పొరలుగా తెల్లని కాగితాలు ఊడి పడుతుంటాయి. గోడలకు అంటి పెట్టుకొని ఉన్న కాగితాల కంచెల లోపల ఎండిన మాంసాన్ని పొడి కొట్టినట్లు ఎర్రమట్టి, ఆ మట్టిని పులుముకున్న పురాతన ఇటుకలు. సమస్త ప్రపంచం శూన్యానికి పాదాక్రాంతమైన వేళ ఇల్లు మౌన తీరానికి అవతల చేరుకుంటుంది. మనం చూడని వినని మన పూర్వీకుల తాలూకు కథలను విముక్తి కలిగిస్తుంది. అడవుల జ్ఞాపకాలను నింపుకున్న పొలుసుల్లాంటి పెంకుల కౌగిట్లోంచి పిచ్చి మొక్కలు సమాధి నిద్రను రాల్చుకుని భూమిపైకి ఆకాశాన్ని పడకుండా ఆపడానికి శతవిధాలా ప్రయత్నిస్తాయి. ఋతువుల నలతను స్వీకరించి మౌనంగా వేలాడే దూలాల్లో ప్రయాణాన్ని కొనసాగించే చదలు ప్రేమ ఖైదులై స్వీయాన్వేషణ చేస్తుంటాయి. పెంకుల మధ్య నుండి ఎర్రమట్టి భూమిలో విత్తనాల అన్వేషణ కోసం వర్షిస్తుంటుంది. గోడలోని కొయ్యకు తగిలించిన బట్టల్లో రంగులను చూసి ఇంద్రధనస్సును మా వాళ్ళు దొంగలించారనుకునేరు. అవి ప్రకృతికి ప్రతిరూపంగా తయారు చేసుకున్నవి. ఇంకో గోడకు తగిలించిన జింక కొమ్ములను చూసి, పులి ఏలుగుబంటి చర్మాలను చూసి మా వాళ్ళు కరుడుగట్టిన వేటగాళ్ళు అనుకునేరు. అవన్నీ కొన్ని తరాల కిందటి శకలాలు. వాటి నిండా జ్ఞాపకాలున్నాయి. ఆ జ్ఞాపకాలని ఇల్లుగా చేసుకొని కొన్ని కీటకాలు ఆశ్రయం పొందుతున్నాయి. కానీ వాటి వెనక మీరనుకునే హింస ఏమాత్రం లేదు. ఇంట్లో మీకు కొడవళ్ళు, గొడ్డళ్ళు, కత్తులు కనిపించవచ్చు. అవన్నీ మీకు హాని కల్పించేవి కావు. ఆ వస్తువులకు ఆకలి వేసినప్పుడు వాటి ఆకలికి మా వాళ్ళు రక్త తర్పణం చేస్తుంటారు. ఆ రక్తధార మీకు ఎవరికీ చెందినది కాదు. ఇంటి నిండా పిల్లి పిల్లలు ఎలుకలతో ఆడుకుంటుంటాయి. మాకు యుద్ధాల్లాంటివేమీ తెలియదు. మా మంచం కాళ్లకు దగ్గర నెమలికలు గుత్తులుగా కట్టి నిల్చోబెట్టుంటాయి. అవి భూమి స్పర్శకి చలించి తన్మయత్వంలో రాలిపడేవి. ఆ ఈకల కళ్ళల్లోకి చూస్తే చరిత్ర మీకే అర్థమవుతుంది. ఇంటి కిటికీల దగ్గర ఖాళీగుడ్లు తగిలించుంటాయి. వాటిని మీరు పుట్టగొడుగులు అనుకునేరు, బల్లుల సంచారాన్ని అదుపు చేయడానికి పెట్టినవి. ఇంటి తలుపుల దగ్గర కుడివైపున పైన పులియాగన్ను తగిలించి ఉంటుంది. చూడ్డానికి అది మీకు వింతగానే ఉండొచ్చు. ఆ బట్టలో గుండ్రటి చతురస్ర అద్దాలు, వందల పూసలు, గవ్వలు ఉంటాయి. వాటిని చూసి చేతబడి పరికరం అనుకునేరు. ఇంట్లోకి గత్తర్ రాకుండా కాపలా పెట్టారు దాన్ని. ఇలా ఇంట్లో అడుగు అడుగుకొక చరిత్ర ఉంది. చరిత్రకొక భాష ఉంది. మా ఇల్లు ఒక మ్యూజియం. శకలాలుగా ఉన్న వస్తువుల పైన దుమ్ములా కథలు ఊరుతూ ఉంటాయి. ఇంట్లో వారెవరో ఒకరు ఆ కథలను గాలికి ఆహారంగా వేస్తుంటారు. మా ఇల్లు గడిచిపోయిన కాలపు ఓ శ్వేతధూళి స్వప్నం. నా సెకండ్ పోయం, టైటిల్ ఆఫ్ ద పోయం ఈస్ కళ్ళు. కళ్ళల్లో వందల వేల గుంటలు ఉండడంతో నేలపైన గుంటలు మన కళ్ళకు కనిపించవు. అవి లోయలుగా తమ అస్తిత్వాన్ని విస్తరించుకోవడానికి అవకాశాల్ని వెతుక్కుంటూ మనం నడిచే నేలలోనే స్వేదరంధ్రాల్లా నక్కి ఉంటాయి. మన కళ్ళల్లో వేరే వారి జ్ఞాపకాలు తాబేళ్లలా గుడ్లు పెడుతుంటాయి. ఒక చిరునవ్వు, ఒక కన్నీటి బొట్టు, ఒక ఆశ, ఒక నిస్పృహ, ఒక శూన్యం, ఒక సమస్తం ఆ లోయల్లో జీవం పోసుకుంటాయి. మన కళ్ళలోని లోయల్లో విహారం చేసే మృత్యుదేవత అప్పుడో ఇప్పుడో ఇంకెప్పుడో మన మాంసంలో గులాబీలను పూయిస్తుంటుంది. మనకి తెలియకుండానే మన దేహంలో గులాబీ తోటలను మనం మోస్తుంటాం. ఆ లోయల్లోనే నేలని చదును చేస్తూ ఒక తెగ. సింగిడి నుండి రాలిపడిన రంగులు కుళ్ళిపోయిన ఆకుల మీద బట్ట ముక్కల్లా ఏర్పడితే ఆ ముక్కలన్నిటినీ ఒక దగ్గర కుట్టి వాటితో పందిర్లు వేస్తారు. వారి కళ్ళల్లో నుండి రాలే కన్నీళ్లనే ఆ పందిర్ల కింద విత్తనాలుగా నాటుతూ వాటిని నాటిన దగ్గరే మళ్ళీ మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళి తాము వెనకటి రోజు రాల్చుకున్న నవ్వులను అన్వేషిస్తుంటారు. అవన్నీ కీటకాలుగా మారి అక్కడే పడి ఉంటాయి. ఆ చదును చేసిన నేలకు కింద మృత్యు దేవతతో, అగ్ని దేవుడితో పోరాటం చేసి గెలిచిన ఎముకలు చిగుర్లేయడానికి సిద్ధంగా ఉంటాయి. కొన్నిసార్లు కళ్ళలో సముద్రాలు ఉప్పొంగినప్పుడు ఋతువులు వదిలిన కొబుసాలు అలలుగా మారి అలలుగా కరిగి కళ్ళకి చుట్టూ పదునైన కంచెలుగా మొలుస్తాయి. మన ఊహల్లో అక్కడక్కడ కవితలుగా కొట్టుకొచ్చే శంఖాలు, ఆ శంఖాలపై నిల్చుని విసర్జించే పక్షులు అన్నీ కూడా ఆ కంచెకు రక్తతర్పణమో జీవతర్పణమో చేస్తాయి. త్యజించడం ఈ సృష్టికి కొత్తేమి కాదు. త్యజించడం ఈ సృష్టికి కొత్తేమి కాదు. ఒక కథ, ఒక కవిత, ఒక పాట ఇలాంటివెన్నో మన కళ్ళలోనే సంచరిస్తూ దృశ్యాలను పేనుతుంటాయి. ఆ దృశ్యాలు మన హృదయ అలకకు మొక్కలుగా మారి ముక్కలై విడిపోయి కళ్ళను పగలగొట్టి బయటికి రావాలని ప్రయత్నిస్తాయి. కానీ మనిషి కోరికలు తీగలుగా మొలిచి చిక్కుబడిపోయి కళ్ళ కాన్వస్ పైనే తెరలా ఉండి కళ్ళను యుగాల జ్ఞాపకాలతో నింపుతుంటాయి. దిస్ ఇస్ మై సెకండ్ పోయం. అండ్ థర్డ్ పోయం ఈస్ కాగితం మీది జీవితం. కాగితం మీద బరువు లేని కలల మధ్య నేను మేలుకోవాలని కలలు గంటుంటాను. అనుకున్నట్లే ఒకరోజు కలల మధ్య మేలుకున్నాను. కాలి కింద పొడవాటి తెల్ల కాగితం మధ్యలో పాలరాతి శిలలా నిల్చుని నేను పారేసుకున్న నా చూపును దూరం నుండే వెతుక్కుంటున్నాను. కాగితం మీద తెల్ల రంగు నదిలా పారుతుంటే ఆ నదిలో 1000 కోట్ల చిరునామాలు చేపల్లా ఈదులాడుతున్నాయి. నా మది దర్శించిన దృశ్యాలకు నా జాడను చెప్పమని వాటితో వేడుకున్నాను. కాళ్ళు నొప్పులేసి కళ్ళు చెమ్మగిల్లిన ప్రతిసారి కళ్ళు మూసి తెరిస్తే తెల్లని నెమళ్ళు కాగితం మీదుగా సంచరిస్తున్నట్లు కనిపించాయి. అవి తాము కోల్పోయిన రంగుల కోసం వెతుక్కుంటున్నాయి కాబోలు. కదలలేను, వదలలేను, ఉన్న చోటే ఉంటూ మేధావిలా కాలి కింది కాగితం మీద ఏదో రాద్దామని మదనపడుతూ దేహంలోని రక్తాన్ని సిరగా మార్చుకుందామని గాయం చేసుకుంటే రక్తం కూడా తెల్లగానే ఉంది. నిల్చున్న చోటే కూర్చుని కాగితాన్ని తడిమాను. కాగితం కింద ఇంకో ప్రపంచం ఉన్నట్లుంది. ఎవరున్నారో, వాళ్ళు ఏ రంగులో ఉన్నారో, వాళ్ళు నాలా పుస్తకం కలం పట్టుకు తిరిగే వాళ్ళు కాకపోయి ఉండొచ్చు. లేకుంటే ఉన్న ప్రపంచం నుండి నాలా ఎలా ఒంటరవుతారు? అక్షరాల్లోని ఒంటరితనం నా చుట్టూ శూన్యంలా తోచింది. కాగితం కింది ప్రపంచంలో అరుపులు, ఏడుపులు, వెర్రినవ్వులున్నట్లున్నాయి. అవన్నీ నాలో వినిపించి మాయమైపోతున్నాయి. రోజులు గడుస్తున్నా నేను మాత్రం కాగితం మీదే ఉన్నాను. రోజు రోజుకి దేహం మీద బూజు పట్టడం ఎక్కువైంది. తలపైన తెల్లని మేఘాలు నిండిన ఆకాశం. పగలు రాత్రికి మధ్య తేడా లేదు. హఠాత్తుగా కాలి కింద అప్పుడే గందరగోళం, అప్పుడే నిశ్శబ్దం. కాగితానికి ఉన్న 4 వైపులా 4 దృశ్యాలు అగుపించాయి. మొదటి దృశ్యం, తెల్లని పొగలు మెలికలు తిరుగుతూ పైకి లేస్తున్నాయి. బహుశా అవి ఆకలి చావులతో చచ్చిన వాళ్ళ కడుపు మంటలై ఉంటాయి. రెండో దృశ్యం, ఆదివాసీ గిరిజనులు అనుకుంటా. ఆకాశంలోని మేఘాలను కిందికి లాగడానికి వారు బాణాలను అటుగా వేస్తున్నారు. మూడో దృశ్యం, అలల్లాంటి కొండలు అనుకుంటాను. వాటి మీద రెక్కలున్న దూతలు నిలబడి తమ రెక్కల్ని నరుక్కుంటున్నారు. నాలుగో దృశ్యం, అటు ఎటువంటి దృశ్యం కనిపించలేదు. నాకు తెలియకుండానే నా కాళ్ళు అటుగా కదిలాయి. కాగితం అంచున చేరుకున్నాను. అక్కడ అన్ని తెల్లని బట్టలతో చుట్టిన శవాలు. వాళ్ళందరూ కవులు, రచయితలు, విలేకరులు అయ్యుంటారు. కాగితం అంచున చేరుకున్నాను. అక్కడ అన్ని తెల్ల బట్టలతో చుట్టిన శవాలు. వాళ్ళందరూ కవులు, రచయితలు, విలేకరులు అయ్యుంటారు. ఏమిటో ఈ కాగితం మీద జీవితం, అంతా కాగితంలానే ఉంది. ఈ కాగితపు ఆధ్యాత్మికతను వివరించేవారు ఎవరైనా ఉంటే బాగుండు. బహుశా ఈ తెల్ల కాగితాన్ని రంగులతో నింపుకోవడానికి గొంగలి పురుగులా తెల్లబోయిన ముఖంతో వేచి ఉండాలేమో ఇప్పుడు. This is my third poem, and last poem is
Long poems.
last poem is about the present situation regarding tribal communities happening in the other states. వాళ్ళు గొప్పోళ్ళు దేశాన్ని తునకలు చేసి ఆ తునకల నుండి రక్తాలను, గాయాల నుండి చీమును పిండి వారికి నచ్చిన నోట్లను ప్రింట్ వేసుకుంటారు. వారు తమ మలమూత్రాలను సీసాల్లో బంధించి సంబరపడుతూ వాటిని సుగంధ ద్రవ్యాలుగా దేహమంతా చల్లుకుంటారు. ఈ గొప్పోళ్ళు తమ పుర్రెల్లో తమ మలాన్ని నింపుకొని అన్నంగా మారిన దళిత బహుజన ఆదివాసీల మాంసాన్ని సగం తిని మిగిలినది తమ పెంపుడు కుక్కలకు వేసి బడుగు బలహీన వర్గాల వైపు తమ పక్షపాతాన్ని చూపిస్తుంటారు. అంతేకాదు, వారు ప్రజల మనుషులని చెప్పుకోవడానికి తమ భక్తులను దేశం మీదికి వదిలేస్తారు. ఆ భక్తులు తమ భక్తిని చాటుకోవడానికి కనిపించిన ఆడపిల్లనల్లా, ముఖ్యంగా ఎస్సీ ఎస్టీల ఆడవాళ్లను బలాత్కరిస్తారు. నోళ్లలో మట్టి నింపి సరదాగా గొంతు పిసికి కాళ్ళ నడుమ సీసాలు గుచ్చి నిందితుల పుట్టుపూర్వోత్తరాలను మాయం చేసి వారి మృతదేహాల చితిమంటలతో చలి కాచుకుంటూ దేశభక్తులు తమ ఆయుస్సును పెంచుకుంటారు. 100 ఏళ్లుగా బీడు భూముల్లో ఉన్న గిరిజనుల ఇళ్లను పేకమేడల్లా కూల్చేస్తారు. ఏ దేశంలో బ్రతుకుతున్నామో తెలియని స్థితిలో మతిస్థిమితం కోల్పోయిన వ్యక్తితో మట్టి బిడ్డల నోళ్లలో ఉచ్చలు పోస్తారు. వాళ్ళ బట్టలూడదీసి వీధుల్లో దేవతల్లా ఊరేగిస్తారు. వాళ్ళను చెత్తబుట్టల్లా చూస్తారు. వాళ్ళు మంచివాళ్ళు. వాళ్ళ సహృదయత చాటుకునేందుకు ఓ దళితుడో గిరిజనుడో ఎవరైతే ఏముంది, అనగారిన వాడు మళ్ళీ అనగారిపోవడానికి వేచి ఉంటాడు. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ లిజనింగ్ టు మీ.
Last poem is so good.
Thank you, Ramesh. Yeah, that was a wonderful session. I had a wonderful reading actually, because I could actually I knew Tamil a little bit, so I could understand that. But I'm not familiar with both the other languages. But still, some words just blink over here and there, so we can always connect with that. Yeah, thank you so much. And now we have Aarti here, and when I asked Aarti for her English poems to show her, and she said no, she hasn't translated anything. So, which shows obviously who her audience are and how well she's connected with her own language and her own space. So, can you talk about your language and how you are deeply connected to that? Because I know that you translate from English to your language mostly. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good afternoon, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here with 4 southern language poets. We are all here. The Dravidian language is what we call, and the Thai Beru in Kannada. The main root is, of course, one, and we have branched out into different languages. And Kannada, as you all know, it's about 2,500-year-old language, and the main Jain poets, we have Adi Kavi and such beautiful Champu verses, like it is poetry and also text given with the meaning, you know. That kind of poetry they've written 10th century onwards. And I belong to the modern era, and with a strong feminine bent of mind, I've been writing from past almost 30 years. And as Syam told me that I find it difficult to translate to English because I have limitations with that language. And most of the poetry, as Sumathy rightly pointed out, half the poem is dead when it is translated to English, because the each word,
Sensibilities are
correct, it is different, and each word in different context sounds different in different languages in in India. So that's the reason I have not translated from Kannada to English. Syam. So my poems, I would like to stand, and half my poems are written and half my poems are in presentation. So I would like to use the dais here. Hope these mics are working, are they?
Yeah, I think you can hand over the hand mic then, yeah.
This poem is about the apps. We are all ruled by apps, and who's not played Candy Crush? So I was just wondering about the apps, and this is one app which caught my eye. In that ad, boyfriends are available on rent. So this poem is about ಬಾಯ್ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಾಯ್ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್. ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ ಸುಲಭ, ಖರ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟು ಇದೆ, ಬಾಳಿಕೆ ತಾಳಿಕೆ ಬಳಕೆಗೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ, ಗೋರಂಟಿಯಷ್ಟೇ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ, ನೋ ವಾರಂಟಿ. ಆಂಟಿಯರಿಗೆ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ. ಯಾವ ದೇಶದ ರಮಣನೋ, ಮೋಸ ಅರಿಯದವನು, ದ್ವೇಷ ಸಾಧಿಸುವವನು, ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮುಡಿಸುವವನು, ಹಿಂಡಿ ಹೊಸಕುವವನು, ಕದ್ದು ನೋಡುವವನು, ಖುದ್ದು ಕಂಪಿಸುವವನು, ಕರಗಿ ಮರುಗುವವನು, ಎರಗಿ ಸಿಡಿಯುವವನು. ನೋ ನೋ ನೋ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಸರಿ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ, ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿ ಬಿಡಿ. ಥರಾವರಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಫರ್, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಕಣ್ರಿ. ಅವರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವರ್ಯಾರು ಇವರ್ಯಾರು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ತನವ ಸಂತೈಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನವ ಸಂತೈಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ತನುವ ಸಂತೈಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ತಿಳಿಸಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ತಿರುಗಣೆಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕವಳು, ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಚಡಪಡಿಕೆ ಹೊದ್ದವಳು, ಆಫರ್ ಸುರಿಮಳೆಗೆ ತತ್ತರಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವವಳು, ಆ ಅವಳು ಈ ಇವಳು. ಪದಗಳ ಅಂಗಿ ಕಳಚಿ ಇರದವನ ಎದೆಗೊರಗಿ, ಉಗಿರ ತಾಗಿಸಿ ಉಸಿರ ಹೊದಿಸಿ. ಆಮೇಲೇನು? ಕಲಿಗಾಲ ಇದು. ಕಡು ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಯಮದ ಪರದಿ ಮೀರದಂತೆ ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಗಂಡ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಊಟ ಬಡಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. This is about liquor. ಮದ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರೆಯುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೋಮರಸ ಕುಡಿದರಂತೆ ಸುರಾಸುರರು, ಸುರೆಯ ಅಮಲೇರಿದ ದೇವಾನುದೇವತೆಗಳೇ ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಹುಲುಮಾನವರು ಮತ್ತಾಗುವುದು ತಪ್ಪೆ, ಚಿತ್ತಾಗುವುದು ತಪ್ಪೆ. ಗಡಂಗು ಗಂಡಸಿಗೆ, ಹೆಂಗಸರು ಹೀಗಾದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ? ಎನ್ನುವವರ ಕರೆದು ಎದುರು ಬದುರು ಕುಳಿತು ತಣ್ಣಗೆ ಬಿಯರು ಒಗರು, ಓಡ್ಕಾ ಜೊತೆ ಹಸಿಮೆಣಸಿನಕಾಯಿ ಹಸಿ ಘಾಟು ಎಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆಲ್ಲ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಇಡೀ ಹರಟುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಹೃದಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೀಚು ಹೊತ್ತವಳು ಮಂಪರು ಮಾತ ಅಡ್ಡಾದಿಡ್ಡಿ ಇಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಪಬ್ಬಿನ ಮಬ್ಬಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಪ್ಪಿನ ನಡುವೆ ಸ್ಲಿಪ್ಪಾಗಿ ತುಟಿಗೂ ನಾಲಿಗೆಗೂ ಸಿಗದೆ ನಾಚಿ ಬಚ್ಚಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ತೂರಾಡುವ ಪದ್ಯ. ನಮ್ಮಂತೆ ತಳಮಳಿಸುವ ನೊರೆಗುಳ್ಳೆಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಅಬ್ಬರಿಸುವ ಕಡಲನ್ನು, ಮಲಗಿರುವ ಸರೋವರವನ್ನು ನೋಡುತ್ತಾ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೂತವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅದು ಉಕ್ಕಿ ಹರಿಯದಂತೆ ನಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಸೀಸದಂತೆ ಗುಟುಕು ಇಳಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಶರಾಬು ಶರಾಬು ಎಂದರೆ ಕವಿತೆಗೆ ಹೆಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪುತ್ತದೆ. ಮದ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಬಾರದು. ಆಡಿದರೆ ಬೆವತ ಹಣೆಯಿಂದ ಸರಕ್ಕನೆ ಜಾರುವ ನೋಟ, ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಕಳಚಿ ಬೆತ್ತಲೆ ಇರುವುದೆಲ್ಲವ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಮಂದಸ್ಮಿತೆಯಾಗಿದ್ದವಳಿಗೆ ಈಗ ಕೋರೆ ಹಲ್ಲು, ಬೆಂಕಿಯುಗುಳುವ ಕಣ್ಣು, ತಿವಿವ ಕೊಂಬು. ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಅನ್ನುವವರೆಗೂ ಈ ಹುಚ್ಚು ಬಿಡದೆ ರಚ್ಚೆ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತದೆ. ಮದ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರೆಯುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಮಾನಕ್ಕೂ ಮರ್ಯಾದೆಗೂ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳಿಗೂ ತಳುಕು ಹಾಕಿ ಅವರ ಯೋಚನೆ ಹಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹುಳಿಯಾಗಿ ಬ್ಯುಸಿಯಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಪಾರದರ್ಶಕವಾಗಿರುವುದು ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪರೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಮಂಜುಗಡ್ಡೆ ಮುಳುಗಿ ತೇಲಿ ಮುಳುಗುತ್ತಾ ಕ್ರೂರವಾಗಿ ಕಣ್ಣ ಮುಂದೆಯೇ ಕರಗುತ್ತಿದೆ. The last one, Charamya Geete. Charamya Geete is a funeral song. ನಿನಗೊಂದು ಶವಯಾತ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಬಯಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ನಿನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಶವಯಾತ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಬಯಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಕರೆದವರು ಕರೆಯದೇ ಬರುವವರ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಚಿ ನೋಡುತ್ತಾ ಓಲಗ ಪಟಾಕಿಗಳು ಕಿವಿಗಡ ಚಿಕ್ಕುವಾಗ ಹುಬ್ಬುಗಂಟಿಡುವ ನಿನ್ನ ವದನಾರವಿಂದವನ್ನು ನೋಡಬಯಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಕುದಿವ ನೀರು ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗದೆ ಆವಿಯಾದಂತೆ ನಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ನಡುವೆ ನಿಂತು ಹೋದ ಮಾತಿಗೊಂದು ಶವಯಾತ್ರೆ. ಊರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾಣುವ ನಿನ್ನ ಗಾಜಿನ ಅರಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಕಳಚಿದ ಸಾಂಗತ್ಯಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಶವಯಾತ್ರೆ. ಒಂದೇ ಸೂರಿನಡಿ ಬಹುಕಾಲವಿದ್ದಾಗ ಪರಮ ಸ್ನೇಹವು ರಣಶತ್ರುತ್ವವಾದ ಪ್ರತಿ ಹಾಳೆಯ ಪುಟಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಶವಯಾತ್ರೆ. ಸಲೀಸಾಗಿ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ಧಾರಾವಾಹಿಯ ನಡುವೆ ಜಾಹೀರಾತಿನಂತೆ ಅಬ್ಬರಿಸುವ ನಿನ್ನು ಅನುಗಾಲದ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಗೊಂದು ಶವಯಾತ್ರೆ. ಕಾದು ಹೈರಾಣಾದಾಗ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಬಂದ ಹಾಗೆ ಬೆನ್ನು ತಿರುಗಿಸುವ ಚಾಲಾಕಿ ನಕಲಿ ನಗುವಿಗೊಂದು ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಶವಯಾತ್ರೆ. ನಿಜ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ವಿದಾಯ ಹೇಳಲೇಬೇಕಿದೆ. ತಳ ಸೋರುವ ಮಧುಪಾತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೈಕಾಲು ಬಡಿಯುತ್ತಾ ಬಂದದ್ದೋ ಹೊರಟದ್ದೋ ತಿಳಿಯದೆ ಅಮಲ ಮಿಣುಕು ದೀಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣುವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಳೆಯ ಪ್ರೇಮವೇ. ಇಸ್ಪೀಟಿನ ಲಕ್ಕಿ ನಂಬರ್ರೇ ಜೋಕರ್ ಆಗಿ ತಿರುಗಿ ಬಿದ್ದಂತೆ ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್ ಮೊಲೆಗಳ, ಬೊಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮುಖಗಳ, ಫಿಲ್ಲರ್ ತುಂಬಿದ ತುಟಿಗಳ, ಕವಚ ತೊಟ್ಟ ಕಟಿಗಳ ರಂಗಿನಂಗಳದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಸೊಂಟ ಹಿಡಿದಿದ್ದು ಹೆಣ್ಣೋ ಗಂಡೋ? ಗೊಂದಲ ಪರಿಹಾರಕ್ಕಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿಸಲೇಬೇಕಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಿಮ ಯಾತ್ರೆ. ನಮ್ಮೊಡನೆ ವಾಸವಿದ್ದು ಕಳೆದು ಹೋದ ಬೆಕ್ಕು, ಕವಿತೆ ಬರೆದು ಹರಿದು ಹಾಳಾದ ಬುಕ್ಕು, ಅಳಿಸಿ ಹೋಗದ ಜಿಡ್ಡು ಕಲೆಯಂತಹ ನಿನ್ನ ಸೊಕ್ಕು, ಬಳಸಿ ಬೇಜಾರಾದ ಬಿಕ್ಕು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಬೋರ್ಡಿನ ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಕಿವಿ ಚುಚ್ಚಿದಂತೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಸಿ ಓದುತ್ತಾ ನಿಂತರವರನ್ನು ನೋಡುವ ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ಕಣ್ಣೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಕಿ ಮಬ್ಬಾದರೂ ಕಣ್ತುಂಬ ಒಮ್ಮೆಯಾದರೂ ನೋಡಬೇಕಿದೆ. ಹರಿಯದ ಕಡಲು, ದಡವಿರದ ನದಿ, ಆಕಾರವಿರದ ಅನುಭೂತಿ, ಪರಿಭಾಷೆ ಇರದ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಚಿತೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಜೀವವಿರದ ನಮ್ಮ ಅನುರೂಪ ದಾಂಪತ್ಯ ನೋಡುವವರ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಚಕಾಚಕ್ ಹೊಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರಬೇಕೆಂದು ಸೋಪ್ ಜಾರಿ ಹೋದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆತ್ತಲಾಗಿ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಮೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಹುಡುಕುತ್ತಿರುವುದಾದರೂ ಏನೆಂದು ಒಮ್ಮೆಯಾದರೂ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ನನಗನಿಸುತ್ತದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದು ಹಿಂದಿರುಗಿ ನೋಡದೆ ಮರಳುವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪರಮಾಪ್ತರು ನಿನ್ನದೇ ಖಾಯಂಬಾರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಳಿತು ಕುಯುಕ್ತಿ ಮರೆತು ಭಯಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಕಂಠಪೂರ್ತಿ ಕುಡಿದು ಹೊಗಳಿ ಹೊನ್ನ ಶೂಲಕ್ಕೇರಿಸಿದ್ರೂ ಸಿಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಮುಕ್ತಿ. ನೀನು 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 ಎನಿಸಿಕೊಂಡ ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಂಡಸರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಿಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಮುಕ್ತಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್.
Thank you, Arati. Thank you for that beautiful rendering. And
You want me to introduce you?
no,
Now
I
it's
mean,
yours.
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, though some of us, we didn't understand the entire thing, we could actually feel
Yeah, yeah.
the idea of poetry, like,
Yeah.
you know how we touch the eyes and fire.
Yeah.
At least, like, you can feel it on your body. Poetry is
Yes,
like that.
liquor also we understood. Yeah.
And I'm from Kerala, and actually we have two roots, as some of you understand. One from Tamil and the other from Sanskrit. So it's a hybrid language. Still, we are in classical language.
Mostly Dravidian root only.
Yeah.
Tamil till 8th century were with us.
This poem about sister, and it's called as Enchantress atop a potted palm, and in Malayalam it is called as Viralinolam Pona Uri Yakshi. Yakshi, you know, it's a demoness, like Mohini something, and in Malayalam, after death, like Mohini, and it's like connected with Mohini and our own sister, because with her enchantress beauty, she usually seduces young man. It's a connection between a boy and his sister. Viralinolam Pona Uri Yakshi. There is a small epigraph by M.T. Vasudevan Nair. ലീലയെന്ന് കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചേക്കാം, തെറ്റിദ്ധരിക്കാതിരിക്കാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞുകൊള്ളട്ടെ, അവൾ എൻ്റെ സഹോദരിയാണ്. That when you hear of Leela, do not mistake me. I mean, she is my sister. അങ്ങനെയിരിക്കെ ഒരു രാത്രി ഉണർന്നെഴുന്നേറ്റപ്പോൾ ഞാനും നീയും തമ്മിൽ ഒരു കുന്നോളം അകലം. തൊടാൻ പാടില്ല, സംസാരിക്കാൻ പാടില്ല, കൂടെ ഉണ്ണാനോ ഉറങ്ങാനോ പാടില്ല, ഒന്നിച്ചു കുളിക്കാൻ ഒട്ടും പാടില്ല. അച്ഛൻ്റെ വലിയ പെട്ടിക്ക് മുകളിൽ പാവ പോലിരിക്കുന്ന നിന്നോട് മാനത്ത് മുഴച്ചു നിൽക്കുന്ന 64 നില ഗോപുരങ്ങൾ കാട്ടി അതിൽ വിമാനമിടിച്ച് എല്ലാവരും ചത്തുപോകില്ലേ എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചവനെ പോലെ ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചു, എന്താണിങ്ങനെ? തുറക്കപ്പെടാത്ത ജലസംഭരണികൾ അനന്തതയിലേക്ക് നോക്കും പോലെ കണ്ണുകൾ വിസ്തൃതിയിലേക്ക് വിരിയിച്ച് നീ ഒരു സായാഹ്നം നിറയെ പറവകൾ സ്വപ്നം കണ്ടു. മത്സ്യകന്യകയല്ലെന്ന് എപ്പോഴും നടിച്ചു. എൻ്റെ അലച്ചിലുകൾ എണ്ണി ദുഃഖങ്ങൾ കുപ്പിയിൽ ശേഖരിച്ചു. വിവാഹം കഴിഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം രാത്രിയിൽ ആരുമറിയാതെ ഫോണിൽ വിളിക്കും. മഴ പെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ? മാവ് പൂത്തോ? ചിന്നു പറ്റോ? കിണറ്റിൽ മുങ്ങിച്ചത്ത മിണ്ടാൻ വയ്യാത്ത കാര്യസ്ഥന്റെ പേര് മറന്നുപോയി. തളത്തിൽ കിടക്കുന്ന നമ്മുടെ എഴുത്തുമേശ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് താ. അച്ഛനുമായി വഴക്കിട്ട് വടക്കേതിൽ ആലിക്കുട്ടി പഞ്ചായത്തിൽ നിന്ന് രാജിവെച്ചതും റജീന ഒരിക്കൽ നിർത്താതെ കരഞ്ഞതും ഒരു ചെരുപ്പ് മാറി മാറി ഉപയോഗിച്ചതും അച്ഛൻ മരിച്ചപ്പോൾ കരയാത്ത ഞാൻ അവളുടെ കല്യാണത്തിന് കരഞ്ഞതും വാക്കിന്റെ ദീപന ലഹരിയിൽ നട്ടെല്ലിന്റെ സൂക്ഷ്മതയിലൂടെ സുതാര്യമായി സഞ്ചരിക്കും. അങ്ങനെയിരിക്കെ ഒരിക്കൽ മുറ്റത്തെ ചട്ടിയിൽ അമ്മ ഒരു പന നട്ടു. അവളുടെ അരയോളമേ ഉയരം വരൂ. അമ്മയ്ക്ക് അളവ് പോലും നീയായിരുന്നു. രാത്രി മുറ്റത്തേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ ചട്ടിയുടെ വക്കത്ത് വിരലിനോളം പോന്ന ഒരുവൾ എന്നോട് ചുണ്ണാമ്പിന് കൈനീട്ടുന്നു. മുടി വിരിച്ചിട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, നീല വെളിച്ചം പടരുന്നുണ്ട്. പനമുകളിലെ മണിയറയുടെ വല്ലാത്ത ഗന്ധത്തിൽ എന്നോട് പൊട്ടിച്ചിന്നിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഭ്രാന്തനായ ദീപസ്തൂപം. The exact translation is the mad lighthouse, but when I rewrote it in English, it is called as howl. No, I take freedom usually when I rewrite it in English. It's not an exact translation. ഭ്രാന്തനായ ദീപസ്തൂപം. ഭ്രാന്തനായ ദീപസ്തൂപം രാത്രിയിൽ വളർന്നു നിൽക്കുന്നു. സമീപത്ത് ഒരു മിന്നാമിന്നിയെ പോലും അനുവദിക്കാതെ തുറസിൽ മേഘങ്ങളിലേക്ക് വിരിഞ്ഞു നിൽക്കുന്നു. പകൽ മുഴുവൻ വലിച്ചെടുത്ത് രാത്രിയിൽ സൂര്യന് എതിരെ കറങ്ങുന്നു. തോണികളെ വെറുതെ പരിശോധിക്കുന്നു. പായൽ കൊണ്ട് പുതച്ച ഒരു കൂറ്റൻ വൃദ്ധനായി ദീപസ്തൂപം സൂര്യന് താഴെ ഉറങ്ങുന്നു. രാത്രിയിൽ മണലിലൂടെ ഭ്രാന്ത് പിടിച്ച് അങ്ങുമിങ്ങും അലയുന്നു, ചീറിക്കരയുന്നു. വെളിച്ചം കാറ്റിനെതിരെ വീശുന്നു, കപ്പലുകളെ എതിർദിശയിലേക്ക് അയക്കുന്നു. തലയിൽ ഒരു ദീപസ്തൂപത്തിന് ഭ്രാന്ത് പിടിക്കുന്നു. അതിന്റെ നിലവിളി കേട്ട് നക്ഷത്രങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നും നീല വെളിച്ചം താഴേക്കിറ്റി കടലിൽ നീല ചിതറുന്നു. ഭ്രാന്തനായ ദീപസ്തൂപം ഒരു കൈകൊണ്ട് ചന്ദ്രനെയും മറുകൈകൊണ്ട് സ്വന്തം നിഴലിനെയും കീഴ്പ്പെടുത്തുന്നു. വെളിച്ചം കുടഞ്ഞെറിഞ്ഞ് ആർത്ത് നിലവിളിച്ച് തലയിൽ ഒരു ദീപസ്തൂപത്തിന് ഭ്രാന്ത് പിടിക്കുന്നു. രാത്രിയുടെ സിരയിൽ ഭ്രാന്ത് നിറച്ച് ഒരു മുഴുവൃദ്ധൻ കടലിനു മുകളിലൂടെ വെളിച്ചത്തിന്റെ കൂറ്റൻ ചിറകുകൾ ആഞ്ഞടിച്ച് പറക്കുന്നു. This one is in the traditional meter. And Malayalam, we still use meters. തോർച്ച. തണൽ പിണഞ്ഞു, കാർകുതിരകൾ പെയ്തു, പുലരികൾ വലിച്ചടച്ചുറങ്ങുന്ന ഇരുളിലെ പച്ചപ്പടർപ്പിലെ വീടിൻ നടുവിൽ മഞ്ഞിന്റെ പിയാനോ ബട്ടനിൽ ഉറഞ്ഞുറങ്ങുന്ന കുറുഞ്ഞിപ്പൂച്ചകൾ. ഗിതാറിൽ പെയ്യുന്ന സഖിയുടേതാവാം ചുവന്ന സ്ട്രൈക്കറും പുതുവർഷ കാർഡും. ചിലന്തികൾ തൊണ്ടമുറുക്കിയ ഫ്ലൂട്ടിൽ മറന്നുവച്ചാരോ തണുത്ത ചുണ്ടുകൾ. മെലിഞ്ഞ വെള്ളി നൂൽ പിളർന്നു പൊട്ടുന്ന തബലയിലിറ്റും കുളിര് നക്കിയും നിലത്ത് വീണെന്നോ തകർന്നൊരോർഗന്റെ തരംഗരാഗങ്ങൾ കുടിച്ചു തീർത്തിട്ടും വിശപ്പുമാറാഞ്ഞ് കിനാവിൻ കാലിലെ ചെരുപ്പ് തിന്നുന്നു ചിതലുറുമ്പുകൾ. മെലിഞ്ഞ വെള്ളിനൂൽ പിളർന്നു പൊട്ടുന്ന തബലയിലിറ്റും കുളിര് നക്കിയും നിലത്ത് വീണ് എന്നോ തകർന്നൊരോർഗന്റെ തരംഗരാഗങ്ങൾ കുടിച്ചു തീർത്തിട്ടും വിശപ്പുമാറാഞ്ഞ് കിനാവിൻ കാലിലെ ചെരുപ്പ് തിന്നുന്നു ചിതലുറുമ്പുകൾ. തകരവാതിലും ഹൃദയഭിത്തിയും തിമർത്തടിക്കുന്ന ചെറിയൊരു താലിൽ മഴക്കുതിരകൾ വഴിയിലൂടെങ്ങോ സവാരി ചെയ്ത് അകന്നു പോകുന്നു. തകരവാതിലും ഹൃദയഭിത്തിയും തിമർത്തടിക്കുന്ന ചെറിയൊരു താലിൽ മഴക്കുതിരകൾ വഴിയിലൂടെങ്ങോ സവാരി ചെയ്ത് അകന്നു പോകുന്നു. It's about rain. You can see some visuals here. Yeah. That video. It's about a teacup. We can lower the voice. Yeah. Again, lower the voice. ചായക്കപ്പ്, ടീക്കപ്പ്. ചായക്കപ്പിലേക്ക് സൂക്ഷിച്ചു നോക്കുമ്പോൾ പിന്നിൽ റോഡിലൂടെ നടന്നു പോകുന്ന സ്ത്രീയെ അവ്യക്തമായി
Looking
കാണാം.
into the cup of tea, I could see vaguely a woman walking.
കപ്പിലെ ചെറിയ അടയാളങ്ങൾ അവൾക്ക് ചുറ്റും. കയ്യിലൊരു ഹാൻഡ് ബാഗ്.
The pattern on the cup encircles her and the handbag.
കപ്പിന്റെ ഒരറ്റം മുതൽ മറ്റേ അറ്റം വരെ
As
അവളെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള തരംഗങ്ങൾ ഉരുണ്ടകന്നപ്പോൾ
gains the other side of the
കൈകൾ നീട്ടി ഒരാൾ
cup,
ഓടുന്നു.
a man comes
അവൾക്ക് പുറകെ
in my
എന്റെ കപ്പിലൂടെ. അവൾ അലിഞ്ഞു ചേർന്നത് എവിടെയെന്ന് അയാൾ പകപ്പോടെയും ഞാൻ എന്റെ കപ്പിലൂടെയും അന്വേഷിച്ചു.
I did the same, looking into the cup. The cup and I.
ഞാനും ചായക്കപ്പും ഒരേ മണ്ണുകൊണ്ടുള്ളവ. മുന്നിലുള്ള കപ്പിനുള്ളിൽ ഒതുങ്ങിയിരുന്ന് എന്റെ കൊതിയിലേക്ക് അവൾ ഏലക്കായുടെ നിറമുള്ള ആവി പറത്തുന്നു. കപ്പിന്റെ പിടിയിൽ തൂങ്ങിക്കിടക്കുന്നു ഒരു കറുത്ത ഹാൻഡ് ബാഗ്. ലാവണ്യത്തിന്റെ എല്ലാ അഹങ്കാരങ്ങളും അതിൽ മുങ്ങിക്കിടപ്പുണ്ട്.
A black bag dangles from the handle of the cup. All the pride of beauty immersed there.
ലാവണ്യത്തിന്റെ എല്ലാ അഹങ്കാരങ്ങളും ലാസ്റ്റ് ബ്യൂട്ടിയുടെ എല്ലാ അഹങ്കാരങ്ങളും ഉണ്ട് ഹാൻഡ് ബാഗ്. ഗുഡ്.
താങ്ക് യു.
I think we should leave.